Hello and welcome. Good evening. You're watching Super 6 here on India Today. I'm Akshata Nandagopal. With the next 1 hour, the biggest 6 stories of the day rounded up for you. And let me begin by taking you through what to expect over the next 60 minutes. The 6 stories we're watching out for this evening. Story number 1 on Super 6. The Enforcement Directorate's crackdown on one of the producers of Empuran has triggered a fresh showdown, with Gokulam Gopalan being grilled by the Enforcement Directorate, mind you, in a chit fund scam, and a notice being issued to the actor-director of Empuran, Prithviraj. Questions loom on whether this is a routine crackdown or if it's timed to the Empuran release as vendetta, because these are year-old cases now coming back to haunt the producer and actor-director Prithviraj as well. So that's story number 1 on Super 6. Our second story is the fallout of the Hyderabad deforestation drive in Gachibowli that led to widespread anger. Just look at that difference against the Revant government. The government is now going after all of those celebrities, influencers, politicians who posted against the Gachibowli tree murders. So all of them are being targeted. How? I'll explain to you in just a bit. It's our second story on Super 6. Story number 3, what to watch out for, is the Bengaluru sexual assault caught on camera. Chilling footage that's emerged from Bengaluru's BTM layout that's led to questions about safety in the city. This happened, by the way, a few days ago. And that predator, that man, is still on the run, with cops yet to identify him. But are we really surprised, considering the Home Minister of the state has dismissed the entire issue, saying these things happen in a big city? That statement, the outrage, we'll be getting you all of that here on Super 6. Also, at 6:45 this evening, we'll be telling you all about a man, this man who claimed to be a world-renowned UK cardiologist and practiced as a cardiosurgeon, as a surgeon in a Madhya Pradesh hospital, and also performed surgery on 15 patients. He killed 7 of them that he operated upon. Now he's on the run, even as questions loom for obvious reasons over the hospital's complicity in this medical horror story that's coming your way at 6:45 this evening. Story number 5 on Super 6, the heat wave in parts of North India. It's April. Harsh summers are here. There's no escaping the heat, as the Met Department has warned of temperatures peaking in the next few days. So I'll tell you what the weather will be like in your city. Should you brace for this heat wave? I'll tell you at 6:45. And finally, all of the action from the Indian Premier League on Super 6. Anger is growing against MS Dhoni. He's failed to step up for the CSK so far in the IPL. So is it time for Dhoni to call it a day? Nikhil Naz will be joining us with his analysis on that. So let's get started with our top story. The film Empuran's string of controversies continues this time, with the ED's investigation into a slew of cases becoming the biggest talking point. Central to that is Gokulam Gopalan, one of the producers of Empuran, who's been grilled today by the Enforcement Directorate. There's a whole lot of outrage over this, with many saying Empuran is being published for the portrayal of the 2002 Gujarat riots case. Is that really what's happening? Is the ED on a targeted drive? Well, not really, because you look at the particular case involved here, it has nothing to do with the fact that this man, Gokulam Gopalan, is actually the producer of Empuran. ED searches pertain to a FEMA case involving Gopalan and his company. He owns the Sri Gopalan Chit Fund and Finance Company. So the case relates essentially to violations of various FEMA provisions, to the tune reportedly of 1,000 crore rupees. So with NRIs, other unauthorized transactions, all of that currently is being looked into. So it has nothing to do with him being producer, but rather to do with this chit fund company. So the ED is also verifying cheating and forgery cases registered against Gopalan's chit fund firm under the PMLA, money laundering case. That's a separate case as well. But it's a chit fund scam essentially that's being looked into. As a result of the raids 3 days ago, here's what's emerged. The Enforcement Directorate has seized 1.5 crores in cash during searches at multiple offices of the Gokul Chit Fund in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. This cash pile, which you see has been seized by the ED, and in their trademark style they've arranged it to say ED. This cash was found in the chit fund company's Chennai office. And that's why today, the owner of the company, Gokulam Gopalan, has been quizzed as well by the Enforcement Directorate. So say what you will about the motive. There is clearly questions here about irregularities, about misappropriation that the ED is looking into. This cash was found at one of Gokulam Gopalan's residences and offices in Chennai. But here's why, and we can't completely negate the other angle and narrative as well, about whether Gokulam Gopalan is being targeted because he's a producer of the Empuran film. The timing of these raids and crackdown. Mind you, right after the release of Empuran, actor Prithviraj, who's also the director of the film, received a notice from the Income Tax Department. Prithviraj got this notice for a case that dates back a few years ago. Checks that were conducted in December 2022 for the remuneration that he received for some of the movies that he did during that time. So then there are obviously questions that will come up about the timing of these raids. None of them linked to Empuran, but the timing of the crackdown on the producer and the actor-director. Have the Empuran makers been targeted by the agencies? Is all of this stuff happening in the last few days timed to the controversy that played out due to Empuran? The notices, raids of previous cases that were investigated years ago, is it now being used to target the makers again? So the most moot question that comes up here, is this vendetta by agencies, or is this them doing their duty and a routine crackdown that's being over-analyzed? Well, both sides that we've put out for you. Let me bring in Shibi Mol for more details. She's joining us live from Thiruvananthapuram with the latest updates. Shibi, has in fact the interrogation of Gokulam Gopalan come to an end? There are two cases right now. The ED investigating the chit fund scam for which there were raids across, and then you have Prithviraj also. So let's talk first about the producer of Empuran, about Gopalan.
Akshata, we're understanding that the questioning is almost over. It was going on at the ED office in Kochi. We know that, his offices in Chennai, the chit funds offices in Chennai, as well as one of his office in Kozhikode was, the ED had raided both these places, and they had seized a certain amount also from these places. The ED's explanation was that this was under the FEMA Act, as, he was collecting fund from people settled abroad as part of the chit funds, and that was collected in the form of money in hand, cash in hand is what we're understanding, which is not allowed, which is against the, which is violating FEMA is what the ED had explained. When it comes to the other producer, another producer of the film, Anthony Perumbavoor's Ashirvad Cinemas had also received a notice is what we're understanding. When it comes to the IT notice issued to actor director Prithviraj, the Income Tax Department has already explained that, this is in broader investigation that's going on. It's in connection with the 2022 raids that was conducted in 2022 around December. There was raids conducted by the income tax at around 3-4 prominent people's residences. One includes actor Prithviraj, Anthony Perumbavoor, Liston Stephen. These are some of the prominent producer figures in the industry. So this is an expansion of that is what we are being told, but the timing of course is being questioned. The case is that around 3 films that he did and that he acted as well as produced in 2022, like Gold, Kadua and Janaganamana. These 3 films for which he has not received money as an actor, but he did, collect an amount as a producer on the size, the details of the income collected was shown as a producer. There have been some irregularities and the income tax notice was issued to give an explanation on it is what we're understanding. The timing, of course, right now is being questioned. Again, the income tax officials have explained that this is as part of the year end. The notice was issued on March 29th, just before the financial year comes to an end, and within one month he has to give an explanation.
So the IT department has clarified, saying that this is routine, that at the end of the financial year is when we issue this kind of a notice. Let's talk about the ED investigation. We have Munish Pandey also with us. Munish, there's a big question mark really about the investigation to the chit fund scam. The fact that Gopalan is also the producer of Empuran. Has the ED responded to all of the questions about the timing of this crackdown?
Well, Akshita, the ED is claiming that the investigation by them is based on the evidence. And in this case, what evidence they have found is that more than 371 crore was collected in cash and more than 220 crore rupees was collected in check form. And ED has found that these this money was collected by them in violation of FEMA Act, and that is why this action is being taken by the Enforcement Directorate. Under FEMA, the Enforcement Directorate cannot arrest a person, but they can conduct searches and they can make attachments and seizure as far as ED action is concerned. But as far as Income Tax Department is concerned, Akshita, remember in 2017 also there was a violation of almost 1,000 crore rupees, and that is when the Income Tax Department started sending notices. So this is not something new which the Income Tax Department or the Enforcement Directorate is concerned. Timing is something which is questioned by several individuals, even the political figures at this point of time. But as far as the ED is concerned, to answer your question, ED is claiming that this is based on the evidence which they have collected, and during the recent seizures they collected several incriminating documents also, and during the questioning today he was confronted with those documentary evidences, along with he was also asked about the 1.5 crore rupees of cash which was found at his residence.
Okay, so we'll see really what emerges. Munish, just a quick update. Has the questioning of Gopalan come to an end?
It is still going on, Akshita. What we have been going to understand is that, in some time the questioning will be over. But at this point of time, as we speak, he is still being questioned by the ED officials.
Okay, all right, Munish. Thanks for that update. Thanks to Shibimol also for joining us with the latest updates. We'll leave it to our viewers' discretion to see whether this is, in fact, timed to the entire Empuran controversy, or if this is a routine crackdown in ongoing cases against Prithviraj and against Gopalan. But it's not the first time we've seen celebrities under the IT department radar, especially if you talk about what's happening with Prithviraj. 2022 issue that even now has come up, and as the IT department has clarified already, it's an issue that's come up now because of the fact that it's the end of the financial year. In 2011, you had Priyanka Chopra, Katrina Kaif being raided over suspected tax evasion. This was back in 2011. This is after earnings that they received from their film. In 2018, Vijay Sethupathi, popular Tamil actor, his house was also subjected to a raid by IT officials. They claimed that this was completely routine. These were routine checks that were conducted. In 2020, superstar Vijay was grilled for potential tax evasion after his film Bigil was a huge rating success. This became a massive controversy nationwide as well, as Vijay claimed and hinted that there was a political conspiracy angle. In 2021, 28 locations linked to Anurag Kashyap's Phantom Films was also raided. And the same year, you also had Taapsee Pannu, another popular actor in Bollywood. She was raided by the IT department, or properties linked to the actor were raided. 2021, you had assets associated linked to Sonu Sood that was surveyed over tax evasion probe. So actors, right after a successful film particularly, do face these kind of checks for tax evasion, for also routine checks that the IT department does conduct. All right, let's move on to our second story here on Super 6. What's happening in Telangana? There's been outrage for the last 1 week over what happened to the Hyderabad Central University, the Gachibowli deforestation, where scores of trees were brought down by the Revant government. And there was outrage that peaked on social media. You had several actors, influencers, celebrities, politicians taking a stand against the Revant government over this deforestation drive, urging him to stop killing the green cover in Hyderabad. Dia Mirza was one of them. You also had the likes of John Abraham and several politicians, influencers taking a stand against the Revant government. Believe it or not, the government now is going to book them for spreading fake news. Details first in our report.
Kancha Gachibowli deforestation takes a new turn. If the battle was earlier between students and Chief Minister Revant Reddy, now it is blown up into a face-off between the Reddy government and film actors and influencers. Chief Minister Reddy is seeking a probe against celebrities who allegedly used AI images to target his government. Bollywood actor and environmental activist Dia Mirza, who supported Hyderabad University students, has accused Telangana's Chief Minister of making false allegations against her. She claims that Chief Minister Reddy accused her of sharing AI-generated fake videos of tree felling in Gachibowli. Dia Mirza urged the Chief Minister to verify the facts before making such accusations. Apart from Dia Mirza, YouTuber Dhruv Rathi also criticized the government last week. Their tweets received a flood of comments from netizens. The Congress has defended the Chief Minister.
We are asking the High Court to interfere in the matter and make sure that these people should not do any such social media marketing, because they are not doing the facts. They are doing the AI. They are using the graphics done by AI, so that, this is going to spoil the, original idea of the people, because the country is watching them.
There are no AI images. In fact, one popular actress and who is an activist also, Dia Mirza Ji, also has tweeted, Congress government is indulging in hiring social media influencers to make reels for 20,000 rupees to attack the University of Hyderabad student movement.
The Hyderabad University students have been opposing the state government's proposal to auction a 400-acre plot of ecologically sensitive land next to the university. The land is being considered for development of an IT park and urban infrastructure. Several petitions have been filed to stop the proposed IT park development. The Supreme Court has stayed felling of trees in Kancha Gachibowli for now. With Abdul Bashir, Bureau Report, India Today.
So several faces who took on the Revant government over this kind of deforestation drive that he went on, the rampage in Gachibowli, are now being pulled up, could be booked. Let's get you a list of all those names. Dia Mirza, actor, has been accused of sharing fake news, and she's going to be booked by the Revant Reddy government. John Abraham, another actor who taken to social media to plead with the Revant Reddy government, saying do not do it, don't destroy all the green cover in Hyderabad, has been accused again of sharing fake news. So he too could be booked. Then you have YouTuber Dhruv Rathi, accused again of sharing fake news because he also had put out some of the details of what was happening in Gachibowli. He too could be booked. G. Kishan Reddy, Union Minister of the BJP, also right now in the Revant government's radar. They've accused him also of sharing fake news. BRS MLA G. Jagdish Reddy, former minister, has also been accused of sharing fake news, and this because he had taken to social media to put out some of the details of what happened. Now there's also, because of this, a fight that's broken out, as Dia Mirza has made it very clear that these claims of her having shared an AI-generated image are simply untrue. You've got the government, the Revant government, saying that images posted by Dia Mirza were AI-generated. Dia has said that's completely not true. She said that this is a false statement by Chief Minister Revant Reddy. Officials of the CMO have confirmed to us that there will be action taken against Dia Mirza. Dia Mirza has said that the Telangana government, before levelling these allegations that I shared some fake AI-generated image, must verify facts first. Now, according to the government, they're saying that these fake images that are flooding social media are hampering their efforts to build an IT hub, which is what the clearance drive was about. Dia Mirza has said that images supported students' stir to protect land, so there's no question of any fakery being spread or any narrative being spread. I want to bring in Abdul Bashir, who's joining us live from Hyderabad with the latest updates on this. Abdul, if you had outrage previously over the kind of deforestation drive that the Revant government took out, now there will be even more outrage over the fact that anyone who criticized it, the government is going after them. And the allegation is that they've spread fake news, that they've spread certain fake narratives, that they've spread AI-generated images. Now, we went through some of the posts that Dia Mirza, John Abraham, etc. put out. They've essentially stated what happened, expressed that they're sad about it, condemned it, and that's about it. So where's the question of any AI-generated image here? Or is this just a government, going on a rampage against their critics?
Well, Akshita, on one side, the government has stated that this is not a forest land, so there is no question of deforestation, is what they said. Now, when the government came up with this plan after acquiring this 400 acres of Gachibowli to build an IT hub, to generate employment, is what the government has said. Now, when the felling of trees had started is where the outrage began, where the students first claimed that this is HCU land, but later changed it to saving it for biodiversity and the lung space that had been there for the past year. Now, the government here, after the whole outrage that had come out, Supreme Court had ordered a halt or status quo on this particular land where the felling of trees were going on. After which the government has now come up with a request or a plea to the Honorable High Court, urging to prosecute the stars, the film stars, be it Dia Mirza, John Abraham, or influencers Dhruv Rathe, or politicians like Jagdish Reddy and BJP Union Cabinet Minister and BJP State President Kishan Reddy, for sharing AI-generated visuals or photos and visuals which had been, misguiding or misprojecting what was happening, and also bringing a bad name to the government, is what the government sources have said. Now, in the next hearing, that is on April 24th, the council from the government side would argue as to would plead to the Honorable Court to prosecute these people on their grounds that they have used AI images to tamper the government image in the public area or public platform. So this is what the government is now planning for. However, now the court is yet to take this plea on April 24th, and further developments are awaited then.
Well, let's see what really happens in the court, whether the government's planned action can actually stand the scrutiny of the courts. Because right now, all of these claims of AI-generated image being shared, etc., you don't really see it on any of their social media profiles. So I wonder where this allegation even came forth. And is this just an attempt to target all those who criticize the government and send out a message to anyone who dares to question the Revant government, in which case they're setting a very, very wrong precedent right now. Thanks very much, Abdul, for joining us with all of those details. Let's get you details of a story that's coming from Bengaluru of a molestation horror, a sexual assault that took place at 1 a.m. in the area of BTM layout in Bengaluru. This footage has emerged from a few days ago, where a man seen creeping up on two girls with his face covered, attacks them, tries to grab one of them, is seen sexually assaulting one of the girls. When they raise an alarm, he makes a run for it. This footage has emerged from Bengaluru's BTM layout, expected to trigger alarm bells in society for obvious reasons, because it raises questions about the safety of young women in the city of Bengaluru. Because here there is not a girl walking on her own, but with her friend, and yet attacked in such a brazen manner. Perhaps this brazenness comes from the fact that even today, this incident happened on April 3rd, even today, that man, this predator, hasn't been nabbed yet. Instead, you've got statements like that from the Karnataka Home Minister G, Parameshwara, who claims that such incidents of molestation keep happening in a big city. And this is exactly what he said. He said such incidents happen in a big city here and there. These are the kind of insensitive words that was used by the Karnataka Home Minister at a time when ideally he should have been apologizing for what happened in his city under his watch, considering he's the Home Minister. Should have been assuring strict action will be taken. Instead, the response that's come in from the Karnataka Home Minister is such things happen in a big city. It's this desensitive comment which we're unfortunately far too used to. Netas repeatedly spew this kind of comments when it comes to women's safety, saying it happens. Now, one incident can't decide what is the definition of a city and what not. The reality is that every single one of these incidents that happen in cities are dismissed as something that keeps happening, can't define the city's attitude. This one will, until that man is nabbed. An FIR has been registered against this predator. Investigation is underway, but they're yet to find him.
ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಘಟನೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪಟ್ಟಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಘಟನೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನ್ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಕಾನೂನು ಪ್ರಕಾರ ತಗೊಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಬೀಟ್ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆನೂ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಪರಿಣಾಮಕಾರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ಗೆ ಸೂಚನೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೇನೆ.
In this direction, the response of the Karnataka State Home Minister, Mr. Parameshwara, is really disgusting, and it is very demotivating. Seeing the state of affairs of the Home Department and the law and order is not creating any confidence for any Bengalurians or for Karnataka people. That this kind of incident is quite natural in such a big city. It is bound to happen. statement made by the Home Minister is really very surprising.
ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ನಾ ಹೇಳೋದು ಲಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ವಿಫಲಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಮೊದಲಿನಿಂದನೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಪ್ರಮುಖ ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವ 10 ಲಕ್ಷ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನಂದ್ರೆ ಇವ 15, ಯಾವ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅವಾಗ ಅದ್ರ ಪೋಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಹಿಂಗಾಗಿ ಈ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಗಮನ ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಲಾ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ.
ये जो आज परमेश्वर जी ने होम मिनिस्टर जो स्टेटमेंट बयान वक्तव्य किया है वो ठीक नहीं है. बिग सिटी में ऐसा थोड़ा बहुत होता है, ये तो ठीक नहीं है, क्योंकि लॉ एंड ऑर्डर है किसके लिए और पुलिस है किसके लिए. ऐसा होने के लिए अगर हो ही रहता तो पुलिस किसके लिए चाहिए और होम मिनिस्टर किसके लिए चाहिए. इसके लिए मैं बहुत क्लियर कर देता हूँ, ये जो बयान परमेश्वर जी ने दिया ये बहुत गलत बयान उन्होंने उसके मुंह से निकला है. ये तो करेक्शन कर देना चाहिए और महिलाओं को उन्होंने सॉरी भी पूछना चाहिए, क्षमा भी मांगना चाहिए.
I am surprised when you are saying that he has taken a very easy statement on this matter, because he is a very, very tough man, and definitely I can assure through your channel that government of Karnataka is going to go very hard against such people who are trying to ill-treat the women and try to molestate a woman on the street. Is not at all acceptable, and definitely we will not take it light. And as a Congress party spokesperson, I say that Dr. Parameshwara may be talking little soft, but by his work he is very tough man, and definitely we will not spare a person who has behaved like that, and will not allow such instances to happen in the state of Karnataka, especially in Bangalore, because Bangalore is one of the fastest growing city and a world recognized city, and we want law and order to be in place, and people cannot take things for granted when the Congress government is there.
No, it's very sad that even be it in Maharashtra or anywhere in India, several times very insensitive statements are made. We condemn such statements, and I think we all need to be respectful towards each human. So it's very sad that such insensitive statements are being made. We condemn them all.
The statement by the Karnataka Home Minister is callous and irresponsible. He cannot make such a statement when the concern is so strong, so deep. It is a crime that women have been molested, and after 4 days he has not yet found them. It is confidence that must be instilled by an elected representative to the citizens of Karnataka. Instead of making such a statement, I want to ask questions. Who is monitoring the CCTV cameras? What is happening to all the so-called pink hoysalas patrolling or not patrolling? And why are communities, resident welfare associations, civil society organizations not involved with this entire safety concern?
Now, the Karnataka State Women's Commission has also taken note and cognizance of this particular sexual assault that's happened, issuing a notice to the Bengaluru Police in connection with this incident and demanding that the accused be immediately identified and arrested. The State Women's Commission has also sought a detailed report on the action taken so far by the Bengaluru Police. I want to bring in Sagai Raj for more details. Sagai, a lot of pressure obviously on the Bengaluru Police to nab this man immediately. He had his face covered, so in that sense it's been that much harder for officials to also nab him. Adding to it is obviously the message that's coming from the Karnataka Home Minister, which hasn't helped when he says such incidents happen. So it's led to a lot of focus on whether the cops are taking this incident seriously or not.
Absolutely, and if you notice that the police have taken cognizance of it, FIR has been registered, and they are examining the CCTV footage in and around that particular vicinity. But the larger question is, as you rightly pointed out, that the behavior, the lethargic behavior of Home Minister, who says that these kind of incidents tend to happen in bigger cities like Bengaluru. And probably this kind of statement from the Home Minister will send across a wrong message to the people, especially to the victim, who might be horrified because of this particular incident. Remember that she was so horrified that she has not even filed a police complaint. It is a local resident who has filed a police complaint, and police are interrogating to further to identify victim as well as the perpetrator in this particular case.
And we hope at the soonest this man is nabbed. The incident happened on April 3rd. Days on, still the cops hunting in the dark with no clues really for who this man is. They haven't been able to identify him, let alone nab him. Thanks very much, Sagai, for joining us with all of those details. Now let's get you a story that's coming from Madhya Pradesh, a shocking one, and only in India can you see something like this happening. A man named Narendra allegedly posed as a UK top cardiologist and performed heart surgeries on 15 patients. This has happened in Madhya Pradesh. It was, in fact, in a hospital in which he performed these surgeries between January and February, earned a whole lot of money, obviously, by duping these families, and then 7 patients out of the 15 he operated upon died at this mission hospital. The story came to light when a resident from Madhya Pradesh's Damo, which is where this had happened, complained that several patients admitted to the hospital were treated by an imposter, by an impersonator, and that 7 of them had died. I beat this. The reason it didn't come to light at all is because the hospital was also involved in the cover-up. The hospital failed to report the deaths, misled the families, charged exorbitant high fees, handed over bodies without conducting a post-mortem. So that's why this entire scam and racket never came to light. And so this man went on performing surgeries, 15 surgeries in all that he conducted. 7 died. We don't know the state of the other 8 people. This imposter claimed to be Dr. Kim, a UK-based cardiologist. He was actually Narendra Vikramaditya Yadav. How did this entire issue come to light? Dr. Kim, who is based in the UK, confirmed via email that Yadav had fraudulently used his identity, and no, he wasn't in Madhya Pradesh. Following the revelation, the government has taken action. They promised that there will be a detailed investigation, but that impersonator, that fraud doctor, the murderer of 7 people, is still on the run.
दमोह के मिशन अस्पताल में एक डॉक्टर एन जॉन नाम से एक आए थे। उनके नाम से एक लंदन में डॉक्टर हैं, वो रियल डॉक्टर हैं। उनके नाम का दुरुपयोग करते हुए यहाँ पे ये काम कर रहा था। अपने आप को एन जॉन बता रहा था, जबकि इसका नाम नरेंद्र यादव है। और कार्डियक डिपार्टमेंट का ये अपने आप को डॉक्टर बता रहा था, उसका विशेषज्ञ बता रहा था। और यहाँ पे इसने जितने भी पेशेंट देखे हैं 12-15, और जितने भी ऑपरेशन किए वो सारे के सारे डेथ हुई हैं। इस प्रकार से इसने डिग्री ना होते हुए भी शल्य क्रिया की है हृदय रोग की, जो एक अपने आप में गंभीर मामला है।
देखिए, मिशनरी द्वारा संचालित एक अस्पताल से संबंधित शिकायत जो है वो वरिष्ठ कार्यालय पर प्राप्त हुई है और उसमें जो है अग्रिम कार्रवाई की जा रही है। पुलिस के अधिकार क्षेत्र से संबंधित जो बिंदु होंगे उस पर यदि वरिष्ठ कार्यालय से निर्देश प्राप्त होंगे तो हम उस पर आवश्यक जांच कार्रवाई करेंगे। शिकायत आवेदन वरिष्ठ कार्यालय स्तर पर जो है अभी जांच में है।
इस मामले में मैं इतना ही कहूँगा कि अभी जांच प्रचलित है और इसलिए इसके अलावा मैं और कोई कमेंट इस पर नहीं करना चाहूँगा।
जो भी घटना सबकी जानकारी में है, हमारी सरकार उसके ऊपर कठोर कार्रवाई कर रही है और ये हमारी सरकार का भारत सरकार के साथ लगातार इस प्रकार की व्यवस्थाओं में आपने देखा होगा कि हमने हर एक वो कमियां या गलतियां या छिपी हुई बातें जिससे कहीं कोई चूक हो रही है उससे तुरंत त्वरित एक्शन की है और उसी का परिणाम है कि बड़ी से बड़ी कोई भी ऐसी बात होगी तो हमारी सरकार एक्शन लेने में देर नहीं देगी। ये इसी कारण से हमारी सरकार की अपनी एक साख बनी है। मैंने इस बारे में निर्देश दिए हैं कि ऐसे और भी कहीं कोई हो तो हेल्थ डिपार्टमेंट उनके बारे में कठोर कार्रवाई करे।
7 लोगों की जांच यदि इसी फर्जी डॉक्टर के कारण यदि हुई है तब तो हर प्रकार की कार्रवाई होगी, चूँकि उसके खिलाफ FIR भी हो गई है और जांच जारी है। और यदि किसी अस्पताल ने इस प्रकार के डॉक्टर को इंगेज करके इस प्रकार से गलत ऑपरेशंस कराए हैं और उससे ही मौतें हो गई हैं तो इस प्रकार के अस्पताल चल नहीं पाएंगे, तो उनके खिलाफ भी जो कानूनी कार्रवाई है सब कुछ होगी। लेकिन अभी हमें वो 7 मौतें जो हुई हैं वो किस वजह से वो मौतें हुई हैं, वो डॉक्टर फर्जी जो सामने आया है जिसके खिलाफ FIR हुई है, ये सारे पुष्ट जांच की रिपोर्ट आ जाए उसके बाद आगे की कार्रवाई तय होगी।
मध्य प्रदेश के दमोह से शिकायत प्राप्त हुई थी कि एक मिशनरी के अस्पताल में नकली डॉक्टर ने हृदय रोग संबंधी सर्जरी करके कई लोगों की जान ले ली और इसमें ये भी बताया गया कि ये मिशन का जो अस्पताल है ये आयुष्मान भारत योजना के अंतर्गत आच्छादित होने के कारण सरकार से पैसे भी इन चिकित्सा सुविधाओं के बदले ले रहा था। ये अपने आप में गंभीर प्रकृति की शिकायत है। आयोग इसमें संज्ञान ले रहा है और आगे कार्रवाई संपादित की जा रही है।
ये वही मध्य प्रदेश है जहां व्यापक घोटाला हुआ था और हजारों लोग अनक्वालिफाइड जो है उनको डॉक्टरी के लिए प्रवेश दे दिया गया था। मध्य प्रदेश में मैं दावे से कहता हूं कि भारत में सबसे ज्यादा नकली डॉक्टर काम कर रहे हैं। 1-1.5 लाख झोला छाप डॉक्टर गांव-गांव में काम कर रहे हैं और जो क्वालिफाइड डॉक्टर हैं उनसे ज्यादा मरीजों को वो देख रहे हैं। ये घटना ये कहती है कि मध्य प्रदेश के स्वास्थ्य मंत्री को इस्तीफा दे देना चाहिए।
Okay, let me bring in Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, Chairman and MD of Nephron Clinics, Padma Shri, joining us on this broadcast. Dr. Bagai, this incident is so shocking, scary as well, because I can't comprehend for the life of me how something like this could happen, that a man claiming to be and impersonating a renowned cardiologist in the UK, performing so many surgeries. What do you make of this, sir?
It's extremely distressing when my heart goes out to the relatives who lost their near and dear ones and family members. This is a simple catastrophe. If you look at the Indian dynamics, we have about 12 lakh qualified doctors under the local state medical councils, and we have 10 lakh quacks. It's almost 1:1 ratio. This quack menace is hurting us. They are ill-qualified. Even if this particular gentleman has got some sort of degree from any country overseas, that person has to re-qualify to practice in India. More importantly, that person has to register himself with the local state medical council. The onus of responsibility lies on the hospital that they have to validate and check whether the credentials are accurate in the local state medical council registry. This record exists. It's available even online.
Yeah.
So I fail to understand why these serial lapses would have occurred in which human lives have been lost.
No,
this is completely unpardonable, and I think the strictest punishment under law should be meted out to this person. He may run for a while, but ultimately he is going to be caught.
100%, Dr. Bagai. But is this a problem of there being a lack of checks and balances in place, that there's no mechanism really to weed out these kind of quacks, these kind of impersonators? Because this kind of an incident, what it also does is that it obviously makes every single person out there watching the story question the Indian healthcare system, question how hospitals function.
Yeah, I think it portrays not very well on the medical fraternity. Ultimately, the patients have to have trust in the medical doctors. But if the person is a fake, then it's a huge issue. I think the medical doctors must display their degrees. They must declare the registration number under the local state medical council, and they must display all their credentials, not only in the clinics, but even in the hospital website. The real issue is not of the hospitals. The issue is in the tier 2, tier 3 cities or in the villages, in outdoor clinics where these people perform not only surgeries, but even interventions which can be fatal, like it has been proven over here. So I wish the hospital would have rechecked and revalidated before this particular person even enters the hospital, leave alone treating patients and absolutely leaving alone operating on patients. This is just a death trap for patients.
The man involved here, the impersonator, the fraud man who killed 7 people, he's on the run. But you also highlighted, Dr. Bagai, of the hospital's role here. The fact that they failed to report these 7 deaths between January and February. Do you think that they're also, in a way, complicit and must be held accountable?
Absolutely. The onus of responsibility is on the hospital administration. I mean, having run and managed hospitals for the last 20 odd years, the first thing which we do is when a CV comes in is we revalidate the person's credentials. The name, each degree, and the license number. Is the person licensed to practice? Say, for example, if I'm registered in Delhi, I have to re-register myself in Calcutta if I need to see patients there. This is a given mechanism which is in place. So obviously there have been lapses. The hospital administration must answer these questions.
No, but I also wonder here, and obviously, of course, there is accountability and onus on the hospital. But just to bring it back, Dr. Bagai, to the question I asked about, the checks and balances in place, the mechanism in place to weed out these kind of quacks, is there a role here of the government also in doing that?
I am a stickler for discipline. There is no question about it. If you are looking at excellence, then discipline has to be a habit. It cannot be a one-off event which is as a show of strength. It has to be every day, and you have to have this even when people are not monitoring you. It's an ingrained system which must be followed. The credentials of every doctor, even nursing staff and other paramedics, including the hospital administration, must be checked. Our registration in Delhi is revalidated every 5 years by reproducing the documents. It is checked. So these systems exist. We need more people on the ground. We need stricter laws. We need stricter punishment. And the hospital administration, again, I repeat, must be held accountable to answer these questions as to how this particular person, to begin with, is not a doctor at all, and then fakes an international degree, is not re-examined or requalified to practice in India, is not allowed to do surgeries at all, enters the hospital, enters an operation theatre, and is performing perhaps one of the most critical surgeries, which is cardiovascular surgeries. This is bizarre. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely. You know, the fact that this man claimed to be a cardiosurgeon, so was actually going ahead and performing heart surgeries, zero expertise, zero knowledge, and that's why 7 people have died. This is brazen murder. Dr. Bagai, thank you for joining us. We will track the latest on the story because that man is on the run. What about the hospital? So far, there's been no attempt really to hold the hospital also accountable for what's happened. So we are going to ensure that there's a detailed investigation that's conducted, and you make an example of this kind of a case so that every single hospital, every single institute that goes ahead and takes people's money for medical treatment is also held accountable to ensure 100% proper treatment is delivered. The heat wave conditions have kicked off in most parts of North India. In the last 24 hours, Delhi has recorded its first 40-plus temperature of the season. Mind you, it's just the beginning of April and already you're seeing 40-plus being recorded in the national capital. The Met Department has confirmed that the heat wave conditions have intensified in the capital and the temperature has hit 40.2 degrees Celsius just about an hour ago at 5:30 this evening, and that means the first 40-plus temperature of the season. Brace yourself. It's going to be a terrible May and June because, as you can imagine, the first week of April, we're already seeing temperatures soaring to 40-plus. And this isn't just for Delhi. In several parts of the north during summer, it's going to be a harsh heat wave. Kumar Kunal, who tracks, in fact, these weather patterns for us, is joining us on this broadcast. Kumar, get us a sense of what the Met Department's advisory is. Beginning of April, 40-plus. What are we going to be looking at in the next few days?
The situation will be definitely warmer in coming days. At least for next 2 days, the conditions will be warmer and it will be 40-plus temperatures, at least for Delhi. Not just Delhi, but even the adjoining areas like Gujarat, Kutch, Saurashtra, even western Rajasthan, and more areas of Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. They are also feeling the heat wave.
Okay, apologies. We've lost a connection with Kumar Kunal, but he was telling us about the Met Department issuing a heat wave warning to several states, a yellow alert for Delhi, a red alert in Gujarat, orange in Rajasthan. So it's not even the worst in Delhi, where you're seeing 40-plus temperatures being recorded, but it's going to be a lot worse than that. Let's listen into what the Met Department has to say about the heat wave conditions.
हीट वेव ज़्यादा नहीं है अभी, खैर जो हीट वेव कंडीशंस, हीट वेव टू सीवियर हीट वेव कंडीशंस है इस समय वो गुजरात में प्रिवेल कर रही हैं, स्पेसिफिकली सौराष्ट्र कच्छ में। अगर आप स्पेसिफिकली एनसीआर दिल्ली की बात करते हैं तो हमारा अनुमान यही है कि आने वाले 3 दिन एनसीआर दिल्ली में कहीं ना कहीं हीट वेव कंडीशंस रह सकता है। उसके बाद क्या है कि कल रात से एक वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस हिमालय रीजन को इन्फ्लुएंस करेगा, उसका प्रभाव हिमालय में रहेगा।
CSK, the Chennai Super Kings, MS Dhoni, every time he steps out into the stadium to bat, there's a huge cheer. But now there's also growing anger. On social media, there's a raging debate over MS Dhoni on whether it's time for him to call it a day and if he's dragging himself out there when he's not able to perform. He's failed to step up for the CSK so far in the IPL. Nikhil Nas gets you more.
Who would have thought that the man whose name is synonymous with IPL itself, you could also call him Mr. IPL in MS Dhoni, is now coming under scrutiny, coming under criticism for his performances in the same league, which he has done a lot to make it very popular across the globe. And what is the background to that? Why is it that people on social media, fans in general of CSK that swear by their thala, are criticizing MS Dhoni? It's happened in the last 3 odd games versus RCB. He came out to bat at number 9, which didn't go down too well with the fans. fans and experts, saying he was too low down the batting order and the game had already been done. And then subsequent games after that versus Rajasthan and Delhi Capitals, where he did come out to bat a bit early after that criticism, yet was unable to finish the match. Remember, MS Dhoni has built his entire career, that popularity, that brand, on the basis of being a great finisher. And once those finishing touches are gone, and once he's unable to do that, fans think that he's overstayed his welcome in the Indian Premier League. Some suggesting on social media that probably 2023 was the right time for him to retire. Some suggesting that maybe even now he can think of retirement in the middle of the season. There was speculation in the last game that MS Dhoni played, that his parents had come to watch, that his entire family was there, and because he was coming under criticism, people thought maybe his time was done. He had made up his mind. But as things turn out right now, he is with the team in Chandigarh, in Mohali, which means he is going to be continuing this season. Plus, he's also spoken out in a podcast where he said that, listen, he's going to play this season at least, and his future in the IPL depends on his body. If his fitness holds true, then he's going to continue playing. And most importantly, fans may be criticizing him, but MS has made it very clear that the franchise, that is the Chennai Super Kings, they want him to continue playing. The management wants him to continue playing. So long as he is fit, he will continue to do that, irrespective of what the noise is all about at the moment.